Alright, hey guys, today we're going to be doing a review of this guy right here, the Victorinox Hercules. So, it's a real nice knife, I really like it. I use it on my everyday carry, and let's go get right to it. I'll show you all the tools and everything and how it works. Alright, so right here we've got the knife. Now what I really like about this knife is that it's actually really useful in both an urban and wilderness setting with all the tools it has. And I'll talk about the overall pros and cons at the end. But firstly, let's get right to it. So we've got the knife blade right here, and I'm going to go ahead and compare this to a regular kitchen steak knife blade, and also I'll compare it to a smaller Swiss Army knife blade right here, so that you can get a kind of idea on the length. But as opposed to a smaller Swiss Army knife, this knife blade is actually locking. See, that one's not locking, but this one is locking. So there's this button right here to unlock it. I really like that. It gives it a lot of stability. It's good. Second, we can compare the pliers. And I'm going to compare these to a regular pair of pliers right here. So obviously a regular pair of pliers will be much bigger than this, but this is a nice little precision pair of pliers, and I have found it to be quite useful. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some of these tools using this guinea pig I have, which is a beer 6-pack box. So I mean, the knife, it's easy to sharpen. It cuts right through it. That's one of the definite pluses to the knife, is that it's very easy to sharpen. Okay, and now I got the scissors right here. Now the scissors are just used by going like this, and they work quite well, as you might imagine. They're obviously not going to be as good as a massive pair of scissors. It's much more for precision work, but they do get the job done. And there is this little spring right here where you can actually buy replacements for it. Mine's a little bit worn out right now. I've used this knife a lot, so I should probably get a replacement for it. Next we have a little saw. I'm going to just kind of saw the harder tip of it. This is the hardest part of the box. Gives you a kind of idea of it. It's really useful for precision wood bundles. And see how it leaves a nice little, see that? It's good for that kind of wood processing if you need it to. And don't kid yourself, this is actually a really thick piece of cardboard, so I mean it does dig into it like a saw would. It's not like it can't cut. If I went through the thinner part right here, it would tear it right apart, but it's no problem. So next we have a bottle opener, and that is right here. And here's a bottle, and I'm going to open it. Right? Done and done. Obviously this is it compared to a wine bottle opener, but it gets the job done just as well. As long as we're on the subject, this actually has a corkscrew as well, and here is the corkscrew right here. In comparison, they both work. Obviously with this one you gotta pull up like that, whereas with this one you have this entire spinning mechanism. So, cheers. Okay. Now, you notice I took something out of this corkscrew, and that is this little piece right here. This is an add-on. It doesn't actually come with the knife, but it's like $3 on Amazon, so I got it. It's an eyeglass repair thing. It's really just a small flathead, and see how it fits right in here. Okay, and here's an example of me using it on this pair of sunglasses if I wanted to. And you can find little screws right here, and you can unscrew or screw it however you desire. This is one of 5 screwdrivers that are actually on this. The other one comes with this can opener right here, which just opens a can like you might imagine. There's a tiny little flathead. See that? See how it's bigger? And then this is actually a bigger flathead. right here, which also works as a pry bar pretty well. I really like this tool a lot, actually. And that's 3 flatheads I showed you, and now I'm going to show you underneath the scissors and pliers that there are 2 more screwdrivers right here and right here, and these are both Phillips. This is the bigger one and the smaller one. Okay. And then we have an awl right here. The awl is really nice for puncturing. So just, it can make nice holes inside anything you want it to. And that's really useful for maybe like, it's originally, I believe, for making belt loops. And you could actually thread string in there if you want to. See that little hole? Let me get that closer to the camera. See the little hole? You could thread string and you could repair clothing. But this is useful for puncturing. I've used it quite a bit, actually. And let's see if there's any other tools. Oh, of course, how could I forget the toothpick and the tweezers? Here's the tweezers and here's the toothpick. They work exactly how they look like they would work. The tweezers are small. They're not necessarily a big, powerful set of tweezers that you're buying, but they do work for precision work. And the toothpick also picks your teeth quite well, right? Okay, and I believe that's it for the tools. Oh, and of course, I can't forget this, the lanyard ring. So this thing right here that I'm hanging it on, see that? This little ring right here is useful for if you want to attach the knife to something, or if you want to attach something to the knife. For instance, paracord, a ferro rod, a whistle. It's very useful for that kind of a situation. So that about does it for the actual review of the knife. I will now talk about some of the pros and cons and why I like it versus why I don't like it. Right, so I'm going to make a general comment about multi-tools. Multi-tools, in most cases, are not going to function as well as the full-out version of the tool, obviously. The whole thing about the multi-tool, the real question you need to ask yourself is, which tools will I need all at once on the go or at my job or whatever application I want? Me personally, because I'm an outdoors guy, but I'm also an urban guy. I like to live in the city. I like to go to the city a lot. I kind of find this to be very all around for me because, like, I mean, you saw I have the saw, I have the longer knife blade, but then I also have smaller stuff like eyeglass repair, 5 screwdrivers, a can opener, all that. So it really kind of complements my lifestyle well. It doesn't bother me that it's large. Although that's one of the cons. It's a large knife. That's the main con. The main downside I could give you is it's a large knife. As far as the pros go, this knife has a locking blade and has a long blade, easy to sharpen. And same goes for the saw. The saw is long, longer than most of them would be on a Swiss Army knife or a Leatherman for that matter. So I really like that. And the real thing that sells me on this knife is just how ergonomic it feels. It's just like, it feels like a real good quality knife. Look at that, the grip. It doesn't feel awkward like the smaller version of the Swiss Army knife to hold. And overall I highly recommend this knife. I think it's a very good knife, but you have to decide for yourself once again which tools would you need all at once on the go. If this has too many tools, get a smaller knife. If it's got not enough, get a bigger one. Those exist too. So thank you for watching my review, and be sure to check out my other videos and post in the comments below.